Alright, welcome back. It seems like another game has just started. This is USA against Canada. This is their final game. It's currently 3-3 in the series, so this is for the entire match. Dragon against Phoenix. I think the lists are pretty normal. Dragon is on Keeper of Water. No Miyamoto die shows. Splashing, Reprieve, Fight On, Void Fist for restricted card. Pretty normal. And then the Phoenix, 3 Let Go, 3 Ancient Master. The Daka, 1 Consumed by 5 Fires. Quite standard deck as well. So the opening is Prodigy of the Waves, 3 Fate. You had to think about that for a while. I guess Yokuni could come out and copy her, but Yokuni having Shugenja trait generally not great against Phoenix, because they can just bow him at will with against the waves basically. So I think you have to go for Raitsugu with maybe 3 or 4 Fate as Dragon. You could try to go for the Yokuni. You're still like making them use the against the waves, but you don't really want to pay 5 for a guy that is just going to be bowed the whole game. Having a long think about it. Raitsugu only 2 Fate. I would definitely have put 3 or even 4 on that. I'm not sure what you need the 2 Fate for exactly. Maybe that's because I play Crane though, and our conflict deck is very cheap, which the Dragon deck is not necessarily as cheap, so it just feels a bit inefficient putting only 2 Fate on a character that costs 3 or more. Isn't Zarzuckett Crane player? Yeah, I think so. I think he might be playing because Canada couldn't find a regular Dragon player. They hang out in Crane chat anyway, so Phoenix passes first conflict. Oh, he's the sub, is that right? Okay. Hopefully he has some practice with the Dragon deck. See a skirmisher come out, gain covert. Seems fine. We hit Meditations on the Tau, that's quite good for Earth as well. Not enough Fate for display of power, so I think he will just get the Earth Ring. You still have to wonder if that's worth it, right? Because even on a blank province like Meditations, you are trading your Skirmisher, which is a card and a Fate, for drawing 1 card and discarding 1 of your opponents. It's worth something to scout the province for sure, but let's see what the other ones are. So Manicured Garden, Upholding, and Shameful Display, and then Kuromori is on the Stronghold probably. So actually hitting anything except Manicured Garden would have been a blank province. Maybe it's fine then. Ooh, Bonsai to go for a break actually. Okay. That's a quick break. Loses a Clarity of Purpose. I say loses, but it's in the discard pile now, so it doesn't really make any difference. I guess one of the two uses of this Clarity is gone now. Discard Clarity is, yeah. The break is definitely nice, but I think discarding Clarity is kind of pointless. Let's see if he wants to attack again. Probably not, because you can hit the Shameful, you can hit Manicured Garden, just give him Fate for no reason. I think it might be better to just pass and tie up the favor. You might see an Ancient Master after conflicts, but Phoenix has only one Fate, so the Ancient Master would be without any Fate. Which, you know, if people are going to play Ancient Master to take the favor away, then you can't really stop them a lot of the time. Let's see if Dragon has any Ancient Masters. No, 0. No Ancient Master, no Censure, no Sumiko. And Phoenix has 3 Censures. And Kanjo District, of course. Let's see if he wants to attack. No attack, and then Ancient Master, no Fate for the favor. Yeah, nothing you can do about that. Getting a break is still kind of okay, I guess. Hi QQ, how are you? Intense stare down, yeah, just not attacking. A lot of provinces are so good that attacking on turn 1 when you don't get any Fate for it off a ring often is just bad. So quite a lot of the time you see this kind of turn 1 where not much happens. I'm not even sure if the Skirmisher plus Bonsai for a break was really worth it, because keeping the meditations open to farm it is also kind of good. Kind of awkward having this keeper on water when there's a Prodigy of the Waves out. See, double Doom Chigenja and another Yokuni. At least he got a storehouse, so that's nice. You can only play one Doom Chigenja and they can still be bad. On the other side we see a Solemn Scholar come out and an Ancestral Shrine, so luckily this is not the shrine that just gives you the Earth Ring. I guess that one's restricted now, so it doesn't play that, of course. So this one lets you return 1 or more rings from your claimed pool, and then you get 1 honor for each ring returned this way. So besides gaining some honor, it's just you know, you can attack whatever ring you want unless your opponent has it claimed. If you defended it or attacked with it already, you can put it back and attack for it again. It won't have Fate on it though, but can be useful. So we see against the waves, Bow Doom Shikenja. Seems fine. I'm not completely sure why he does it in the draw phase. Like, if Dragon was going to attack with a Doom Chigenja, then you are probably fine using your province first and then bowing it, right? Or maybe even not bowing it if it's Appalling Authority and you think it's worth it to break it for the effect. So pass conflict again. Maybe stop fight on. I didn't really get stopped though, does it? I don't think he's going to fight on for just 3-3, but if he really wants to, he can deny the conflict. Yeah. I mean, fight on is only on defense anyway, right? But I guess you stop the Doom Chigenja attacking and then play conflict characters or something? Because it's slightly worse to play them beforehand, right? Because then your opponent knows what characters you are putting down. You would get a ring fate by attacking. Yeah, that's true. I feel like the 1 in 3 that you get to honor your prodigy with Shameful is kind of worth it, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, exactly. I'm not... Yeah. So we see Upholding Authority attacking for 2. That's quite nice. For water as well, so the prodigy will be able to ready. I think you might as well defend, maybe? Although this water ring does nothing. It's going to be claimed anyway. He wants to duel the Solemn Scholar, I guess, but he might have fight on as well, so he doesn't mind having his Retsugu bout already. And if he can get the ring, that's could be good for favor. Oh yeah, chat is right. He has a Keeper Initiate in here, and he would also get a Keeper Fate if he wins. Does one deck have an advantage if the game goes long? I'm not sure. There is one Consumed by 5 Fires in the Phoenix deck, which can really completely blow out the game if it is a longer game. On the other hand, the Dragon deck has Void Fist and Mitsu, which are really strong later on. Just recurring those events forever. Let's see, we see the duel. Actually, first a Katana, then a duel to take one Fate of the Scholar. Court games to honor Raitsugu. So now he is winning. We see Shrine Maiden in the conflict, revealing Censure, Court games, and Shrine Maiden. Ooh, 0 out of 3. I have a hard time feeling bad for Phoenix when this happens, because it's still a 1-1 for 1. But it's definitely not happy about that. Gitsuki's method on Raitsugu, okay. Yeah, exactly, it's just like a Lion Conflict character, just a 1-1 for 1, you know, it's not flashy, but it's fine. It's playable, I guess. At least the Ikoma Reservist has some more text, right? It's definitely not completely blank, I would say. And she's a Bushi as well, which is arguably better than being a monk in a Phoenix deck. see clarity on the Prodigy. Stronghold on Zarzuckett to go up to 7. At least it doesn't discard 3 cards. Yeah. The thing is, discarding 3 cards off the top of your deck doesn't really mean anything, I don't think. They could have just as well been on the bottom of your deck. It's like a slight bit of information for your opponent that you don't have another. Like later on you might have used all your censures in court games earlier, so they don't have to play around it, but it's really a minor thing. So the Ornate Fan will win it for Phoenix. See Skirmisher. So second Skirmisher going for another attack. Void Ring, sure. So now the Ancestral Shrine is really going to pay off. Right? Normally Dragon would be taking this Void Ring off the table by attacking it, thereby preventing his Zarzuckett from getting voided. But now, oh never mind. I guess Phoenix has to actually win the ring before he can put it back. Okay, I spoke too soon, it might not be useful. Another Bonsai. Display of power, oh yeah. That's why it's going to be great. No, no display actually. He must not have it because you would definitely display that if you have one. Slightly unfortunate with 15 cards. However, consider that he only bid 3 in the draw phase. So he didn't give himself the maximum odds to have it either. I guess he did that partially because there's a Restoration of Balance, which he hits. Maybe he wants to pressure some honor as well. I'm not actually sure. Does anyone in chat have any more ideas why he might have bid 3 for draw and not just 5? Especially if you don't have a display of power yet. Probably just resto, yeah. He had a favorable ground as well at the start of this turn, so it would never have been a disaster to find resto. And he also played the Shrine Maiden, so like he could easily have 2 more cards off that, right? He sort of had to get 1 skill, I guess, but okay, we see a fine Katana on the Prodigy just to not discard it to resto. Dragon's still on 10 cards though, so that's going quite well for him. And he's not getting voided this turn. Fight on actually, to defend, okay. 5 against 6. We see a Bonsai to go back to breaking. I'm not sure about that fight on. It seems a little bit expensive. It would stop the firing as well, I guess, if it wasn't for the Bonsai. Might have his own Bonsai as well. 2 played already though. The thing is that there's also a fight on in the discard pile now, and Phoenix plays the Daka, so We do see defend your honor. What would you bid on this? I think it's... yeah, it's 6 against 5. I think I would just... okay, we see 2-2. 2 against 3, so that's really positive for Dragon. Because he narrowly won the duel. Instead we just see a Supernatural Storm, okay. Can I hear what you sound like when you're excited? I don't know. Let's see, double storm with stronghold. Breaking again. Does take the break, honors the prodigy. So now you have this 7-7 who's going to ready itself every turn. Favor still for Phoenix. Fingers crossed for no Conjo, because that would just be a bit silly. He's keeping the shrine actually, huh? I don't think I would do that. Like, he's getting some honor with it, but is that really? Oh, this doesn't keep it, never mind. Good. So in this case the shrine just got 2 honor, which basically means nothing. So it's kind of useless this turns. Duplicate for Raitsugu for Dragon, that's pretty okay. Keeping the Doom Shukenja, interesting. Finding the duplicate is pretty good, yeah, because the Void Ring doesn't have any fate either, so Phoenix can attack that if they want, then they don't get any fate. Doesn't seem that bad. Another prodigy. There might be some running over potential with all of these stats. We haven't seen any Void Fists yet, but there are no monks on the field either. I'm assuming there's 3 seals. I'm not going to check for that. There should probably be 3 seals of the dragon. Even then, it's only 6 military on here, so you can't necessarily Void Fist everyone. Five against 5. Sanity is restored. I guess it really was for the restoration of balance. So I think with 3 display of power left in the deck and drawing 5 out of 25, every card has 1 in 5 chance to be drawn, right? So the chance that he has at least 1 is a bit over 60%. So pretty good. He probably has 1. Really kind of awkward having to think about the Void Ring. I guess Phoenix can go water first. Assuming he did find the display of power, because the dragon can take Void off the table anyway. But it looks like Earth actually. Just a better ring all around. Hoping to maybe get the water ring after, or he can still just play one of these clarities in his discard pile. Find shameful display. The alternative was what could it be? Earth, fire, void. I guess there has to be a water province somewhere. Maybe Rebels is in the row? Yeah. There's a Sacred Sanctuary for the Stronghold, so it must be Rebels in the row. So this might actually be the better hit to get Shameful. Otherwise, one of these prodigies gets bowed out. I suppose he has Against the Wave, so being bowed is maybe better than being dishonored. The downside of buying these expensive characters and passing early is that supernatural storms are not that great right now. We do see strongholds for clarity. Dragon Strongholds is just +2, so 6 against 7. Travis plays a Bonsai twice, I think, on the Prodigy. Is it just for stopping the duel? I guess so. This Zarzuckett was an 8, so it would be a pretty easy duel, but see, court games into Censure. The problem though is that there's this favorable ground, right? So I think this Zarzuckett is going to get to duel someone anyway. But he would much rather duel the one Fate, the Prodigy with 2 attachments obviously, than the other one. I'm not sure what Chad is talking about is fair or reasonable. There's a lot of things that are not really fair. Maybe it's Conjo District. In that case, I would agree. Ancient Master in the conflict to try and win it. Okay. Maybe trying to tempt Zarzuckett to do all that? Does duel it, okay. Seems fine either way. We might see Seal of the Dragon and then Hurricane Punch. Nope. Just Seal of the Dragon would be enough, I guess. But multiple conflict participation with one character? Yeah. It is pretty strong, yes. I don't think Prodigy of the Waves in particular is that overpowered though. Like, there are quite a lot of characters that are stronger than that. Let's check if he actually has Seal of the Dragons, because if so, he must have not drawn any. Yeah, 3 Seal of the Dragon, okay. Doomchigenja goes in, hits Shameful Display. Now he might kind of regret breaking that meditations earlier and the Manicured Garden. Getting an honor token on the Prodigy with 3 Fate is really not ideal. He got 2 Fate off the airing, so I get why he attacks, but let's see, what turn is it? 3? Yeah. So now this other Prodigy kind of has to do water, right? So he can ready them both. Leaving the Void Ring, so this Zarzuckett will actually stick around another turn. Interesting. You would like to stop this Shameful Display from breaking as the dragon. See, Cloud Mind on the Prodigy with Fate, that's pretty good. There is 3 Let Goes, but there's also Reprieves and other good attachments. Storm for 2 makes it breaking. Do we have a Katana or something, or a Ancestral Daisho? I think he plays 1. Otherwise he can maybe move home and then attack with fire on the Shameful, just to pick up the Fate. He's first player next turn, so he will attack the firing next turn if not, but you have slightly more choice next turn if you pick up the Fate now. Oh, 3rd Bonsai actually. That's the last one. Dragon pretty far ahead on cards and Fate. Let's see, 9 cards against 5, 8 Fate against 5. Yes. However, if you count the Fate on board next turn, Phoenix will have 6 plus 4 is 10. And Dragon will have 4 plus 3 is only 7. So the Fate is kind of even if you think about it like that. 4 extra cards is pretty good though. And he has gotten rid of some Dynasty flips that he doesn't want to see later, like these Yokunis, the Doomchigenja. At some point Mitsu is bound to show up. On the other hand, at some point Tadaka is also bound to show up, and I guess he kind of stops Mitsu because you can't play the event if it's in your discard pile, and that's the only place he plays them from, so he really kind of wants Cloud the Mines for Tadaka in case he shows up. Let's see, meantime we see an Ancestral Daisho, 2 Katanas on the Prodigy, getting rid of the fan, okay. To make it 9 against 9. Shootrev says, I think Zar has a 3rd Skirmisher. Yeah, well, I'm not sure, like who wins the Water Ring doesn't seem that relevant to me. Because for the Prodigies it just needs to be claimed, so this one's going to ready anyway. Oh, then the Skirmisher can covert and attack. Oh, it didn't happen anyway. So the problem with both banking Fate as well is that Phoenix has 5 fires. So if you play something good with like 3 Fate next turn, then Phoenix can spend 5 to just remove it all, and then you will be incredibly behind on board the turn after that. Only 21 minutes left for Dragon, not doing too well on the time, but Travis also has only 29 minutes. Keeps one Adept of the Waves. I guess he wants to go water anyway with double Prodigies. I'm not sure about discarding the favorable ground in that case. So we see another Keeper, a Swordsmith, Hitomi. Let's see if Phoenix has any assassination. No, 0. There are 3 Cloud Mines, but I would be tempted to just slap 3 Fate on this Swordsmith. Or at least 2. Down to 5 honor in the meanwhile for Dragon, so I guess we might see a not 5 bid again. I think it's probably best for Phoenix to still bid 5, but if you're the Dragon you kind of have to think about it, right? Like maybe Dragon does 3 or 4, especially if you get the Swordsmith out, which I think definitely would be the right play. Swordsmith 1 Fate, okay. I think especially in open lists like this, but even in general, there is not that much assassination anymore, and spending the 1 extra Fate when you have 5 left anyway is kind of worth the risk, I think, because the payoff of having that Swordsmith another turn is quite high. It is 3 turns from now, so it's very long-term investment, but I think I would have done 2 or 3 on the Swordsmith if I was playing myself. The issue is new Scorpion, yeah. I mean, against Scorpion and Crab you don't really want to play your assassination ever, because you will get caught out by the honor pressure too fast. And I think Crab and Scorpion are the maybe not necessarily the top 2 clans, but definitely at the top. Like definitely both top tier clans. So having cards in your deck that are more or less completely dead in those 2 matchups is just quite bad. Like this Solemn Scholar also came out with 2 Fate, right? And I think that's the correct play on these 1-drops that just have great stats or a great ability. Like Ethereal Dreamer, I think deserves to get 2 Fate most of the time as well. So Swordsmith finds a Seal of the Dragon. Dragon bids 4, Phoenix bids 5. I think that seems good. You don't really want to risk going to 1, but the Scholar came out with 1, is that so? Oh yeah. I think the 5 Fate for 5 Fires might be the reason for that. I thought this one came out last turn, my bad. Yeah, so in this case, you can assume that Dragon will go Fire, right? So you will get 1 Fate off the ring, and then having 5, I think, is worth putting one less on a scholar, because if he 5-fires this board, removes this 4 fate from people, you kind of just lose the game as dragon at that point. He'll be attacking void with Ujina as well, so he can attack for void, then do 5 fires, and then just nuke whoever he wants out of the game. So I think we might see that 5 fires decide the game on this turn. Let's see. I'm not sure what you can do about it as dragon either. It's not exactly possible to not put fate on your characters, because then you will just lose regardless. Thinking about attacking this shameful display some more. I'm not sure about that. What's the last option? Garden upholding. It must be upholding authority. Why not attack that? For 2, huh? Is he that afraid that the Phoenix will boost him and then he loses triple Void Fist or something? I guess if he wants to attack with a lot, it makes slightly more sense, but this shameful display is going to really mess him up, so... I think in the end spending the 2 bonsais to break this Meditations and Manicured Garden, when they are the 2 provinces that you can more or less safely attack, might have been a mistake. Because now apparently he feels that he is stuck attacking a shameful display every turn, and that's not a place you want to put yourself in. And this is not a game where tiebreakers will matter, so it's not like you have to get breaks fast to get those tiebreak points. Phoenix would love if he attacked the Manicure to get to 5. I mean, he's getting to 5 from the Void Ring anyway. I don't think the fate matters that much. Like, you have to expect that Travis will play well enough to have 5 fate when he needs it anyway. It's not that hard to bank 5 fate. Like, he still has a big board with expensive characters and going to have 5 fate in a minute, so I don't think it's possible to keep them off of 5 fate really. Maybe he was trying that by going for the breaks early to like get to the stronghold and force more investment out. Maybe this dynasty buy was really not ideal, because he put 4 fate out on the board, which is perfectly good value for 5 fires. He could have instead not played the Hitomi. I guess it won't really help, because eventually the 5 fires is just going to get you, so... And he does have 8 fate banked still, so... he wouldn't gain that much from buying fewer characters, I guess. So Zarzuckett will duel Ujina for 6 against 2. Takes one fate off there, that's pretty good. I was going to say it could be awkward wanting to attack Void but also needing water for the Prodigy, but he doesn't really need it at all. There's only one against waves in the bin, so he will just spend one fate to ready one. Like the big one that can attack for 9 military. So we see Hitomi duel against Ujina. 4-2. I think it will be... Oh, I was going to say 1-1 bits, but actually 2 against 5, so... not sure about the 2. I guess he thought 1 is too predictable. But 2 loses exactly to 5, which is a somewhat likely bid, so... Now Hitomi is dishonored. And then he uses box to tie it again, but there's a storm in the discard, so maybe it was better to just bow Hitomi. Oh, Travis will pass actually. Huh. He doesn't care about the firing that much. He would rather save his storm for later. Interesting. There's a Seal of the Dragon that was drawn by the Swordsmith, so probably Void Fist coming out. Let's see, he's on 8 now. Let go on Seal. Decent target, I would say. First let go as well. No more seals, okay. So Dragon is really looking for a monk, especially Mitsu. And Phoenix is looking for Tadaka, who will just shut off Let Go, Defend Your Honor, Court Games, and Fight On. Quite a lot. Anyway, Dragon wins the conflict, dishonors one of the prodigies. The one with Fate, that has Cloud, okay. Better on the long term for sure. Okay. Oh, we're actually going water? I think that means he does not have the 5-fires. Because Dragon can take away the fate of the Void Ring now. And then he doesn't get to 5. So he was hoping to draw it by bidding 5, but he hasn't found the 5-fires. Yeah, there... Yuka says I think he's looking to display of power the Void. Yeah, he definitely can do that. He hasn't played any NS 14 cards in deck, so it's very likely that he has one by now. We see another fight on, cancelled by Censure. This is the final Censure. And the second fight on. I think there might be only 2 due to influence. Yeah, 2 fight on. So the fight on are gone and the Censure are gone. Because if you let it go on, then Dragon would get 2 Keeper Initiates and the Keeper Fate. And then he would probably win favor with those 2 Initiates, so its Censure would be off anyway. So definitely correct to censure that, I think. Even though the Water Ring itself doesn't do much. Court games to honor, and now we will see the storm, I suppose. Or he could against the waves, actually, to bow the... Oh, that's going to be annoying. He clicked the wrong card. Oh, it actually worked, so I guess there was a back button or something. It used to be that if you cancelled that, it would just stop the whole action and you would not play anything, but your stronghold still bowed. So I think Jikoku devs might have fixed that last week. Shout out to them. They do probably the best work out of everyone in the community. So is he against the waves and an ornate fan to even break this midnight travels? So I think looking back, it was the dynasty phase for Dragon was actually pretty okay. Because with Ujina out, if there was a 5 fires, he would just lose the game anyway. So there's no point to try to play around it. You might as well fade this stuff up, maybe put a little bit more on the swordsmith, and hope he doesn't have it. A lot of the time, by playing around cards, you are making them more powerful instead of less powerful, because they are doing work even in the case that they are not in your opponent's hand. Ten cards and he seems to have no answers. Yeah. There should definitely be no more Seal of the Dragon. He probably has a bunch of Hurricane Punch and Void Fist, which he can't use because he hasn't drawn a single monk. I'm not sure how many there are in his list these days. 3 initiates. Keeper initiates are monks as well, but he's never won the Water Ring. And then there's Mitsu. So actually, only 6 normal ones, I would say, and then 3 Keeper initiate. Maybe it would have been good play to just buy this Keeper initiate. It always feels bad to buy them, but then he has a monk at least. So you can play some of those punches, trade them in for other cards. Get Void Fists out. Probably has Tattooed in hand. Yeah, there is Tattooed Wanderer as well. We haven't seen any of them yet. Let's see, 10 against 0, double Path of Man. Tries to remove Raitsugu from play, but the Reprieve stops it. He's through the Reprieve though, so he'll need another one. Doesn't have another one. Damn. Only drew 1 Reprieve, huh? Yeah, it is a bit mysterious what these 10 cards could be. Why play the Reprieve? Yeah. That's a good question. I think otherwise the Swordsmith could have been destroyed. Ah yes, here's Tadaka right on time. Mitsu is also here to play, but there's actually nothing at all in the discard pile that he can play right now. Probably 3 Void Fist in his hand, but I mean Phoenix can just attack Earth and then he can still play 1, I guess. Mitsu with 1? What? What does he need this 6 Fate for? Is there anything expensive? There's nothing expensive in here. Max cost is 1. I guess he wants to buy this Showmon as well? Probably thinks that this is the last turn. I mean, he's not going to win this turn. So if it is the last turn, then he lost, right? Maybe he feels that he definitely needs both characters to defend at all, but then... do you really need this 2 Fate? Ooh, look at that. Shrine Maiden for Supernatural Storm Clarity and Against the Waves. I think that is a lot more unfair than all the readies and participating in all the conflicts in the world, to be honest. Throwing 3 cards is just ridiculous. With no risk, really. Get a 1/1 as well. So Cloud on Mitsu, let go on Cloud. There was nothing here to play, right? So why play the Cloud before the conflict? And why put it on Mitsu anyway? He can't play anything with this Tadaka going Earth. Not sure about that. Yeah, so Storms are showing for 6. We know he has 1 in his hand, 1 in his bin, so that's 12 skill. Would Supernatural Storm for Bushi / Courtier be fair? It depends what you mean by fair, really. Like, are any cards that see play really that fair? I don't know, it's a bit unclear what that means, I think, but it would be a good card for sure to just get +1/+1 for every Bushi that you have. I think that would be quite a reasonable card, actually. Because for most clans it would be worse than Banzai, but if you can get a bunch of Bushis out, then you know, you get a good card. I don't think that would be overpowered, really. So let's see, Sanctuary on Mitsu, obviously. It's political 20 against 7. We see Fine Katana on Mitsu for the Void Fisting. Court games to honor Tadaka. It's Earth, obviously, so most of these 13 cards are dead, probably. We see Ancestral Daisho to bring it to 8 military. So at least he can push out Tadaka, I guess, for 5 skill, but... the downside of this Dragon Stronghold is that it has a grand total of 4 strength. Yeah, so Storm to give Tadaka 6 extra. And he gets 6 military as well for the Void Fist. Isn't that nice? So he resorts to Void Fisting Ugina for 4 skill, still on 22 to 7. Didn't really do anything. Cloud the Mind on Tadaka, but Phoenix has a second let go. The third let go, actually. And that's it. GG. So I think that means USA is 3-0 in rounds, I mean. So they are through to the cut already. Canada 2-1 has 2 more shots. GG. Didn't even need the 5-fires in the end, like at all. It might have been a fight if he didn't have this last let go, I guess. But I think yeah, maybe breaking these provinces so fast, spanning the bonsais on it was not the wisest. And it's really awkward in this matchup being Keeper of Water against Prodigy of the Waves. Because you don't really want to attack water at all. I'm not sure if he's still here. He had to have more answers than what he played. Yeah, maybe. He lost a lot of those water conflicts on defense by like 1 or 2 skills, so I feel like missing the monks for a long time, as well as only finding 1 seal of the dragon until this turn at least, really set him back. Alright, I think he's gone, so I will just stop the stream here. Thanks for watching. See you later.